for you. So today we'll discuss a little bit more about the home care industry. We'll talk about why HomeWell Care Services and really what we believe is our competitive advantage. And then, of course, we'll talk more details in regards to support and training. So let's get started. So starting with the industry, the home care industry in the United States was valued at over 150 billion in 2024, and it's predicted to grow to about 296.4 billion by 2033. And those stats are solely based in the United States. If we're looking at the industry on a global scale, the home care industry is predicted to be over 660 billion by 2030. And as the industry stands today, there's not even enough home care agencies to keep up with the current market demands. Also, home care is a highly fragmented industry, with the majority of the competition being local agencies that just don't have the support of a national brand. So, partnering with a national brand like ours puts our franchisees in a position to be able to focus on excellence and provide the utmost quality care to some of our most vulnerable clients. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's triggering all of this growth? Well, there's a common saying called the silver tsunami, where we have over 11,000 Americans turning 65 and older daily. And this is not just for tomorrow or the next day or the next week, but this is for the next 20 years. So by 2050, it's predicted that over 19 million Americans will be age 85 or older. We also know that about 90% of Americans want to age in place. However, doing so without help can sometimes be challenging as there's increased fall risk and personal care needs of our growing senior population. So that brings us to why HomeWell. Well, our primary focus is on the personal care needs of our clients, so activities of daily living. That's tied to a large percentage of our system's revenue. And of course, we have other services that our directors can talk through with you as well, but that's definitely a large percentage of our system's revenue. Now, HomeWell has been franchising since 2003. However, we started in the home care industry in 1997. So, with over 27 years of industry experience, we're experts in the home care space, and we provide our franchise owners with our business model so they don't have to reinvent the wheel. So, that's really, I would say, why HomeWell. And that kind of brings us to our brand story. So we were founded in 1997 by Josh Hoffman out of Seattle, Washington, and the name at the time was Hoffman Helpers. Josh was a caregiver by trade, so he built the company from that perspective in mind. And I think that's another reason why we just had this growth and success over the years. Josh officially franchised the business in 2003 and created what is known as HomeWell Senior Care and built it successfully to about 35 franchises. In 2017, Josh decided to sell HomeWell Senior Care to Bruce Haas. Bruce Haas has a significant experience in growing franchise companies like Choice Hotels and Woodspring Hotels. And Josh and Bruce mutually agreed that he could really take HomeWell to the next level. So in 2017, he bought the majority ownership stake, and we did a company relaunch in 2021 where we renamed ourselves as HomeWell Care Services. And as of today, we have over 100 franchisees, more than 200 territories across the United States. And then, of course, our executive team brings decades of franchising experience, ensuring that we're on the fast track to growth, but still while maintaining strong unit level economics. Now, with this depth of experience and expertise, we understand the systems, the processes, and the policies that are necessary to keep our franchisees aligned and really working towards growth. And as a franchise owner, you will have access to that valuable knowledge and support. So, who are we looking for in our franchisees? Individuals that are coachable, process oriented, and willing to work hard. However, one thing I do want to put an emphasis on is that you do not need healthcare experience to join our franchise. Upwards about 48% of our franchise owners do not have healthcare experience. And we also have a majority of our franchisees that this is their first time ever owning a business, period. So that's really, I would say, where our expertise will come into play as far as supporting you as a franchise owner. Lastly, we want our franchise owners that enjoy building teams, serving those around them, and of course, delegating tasks. So, our goal is for you to be able to quickly grow into a CEO position where you're focusing on growth, scalability, and of course, superior customer service. So, as far as territories go, we're one of the few home care franchises out there that still have this much white space. So, we do see an opportunity to really grow, nearly double our size in the United States. A few demographics that we look for when it comes to population is at least 30 to 40,000 people above age 65. So we typically cap our territory size at about 350,000 in total population, but out of that total population, they have to have at least 30 to 40,000 people above age 65. Also, at least 10,000 households with an average household income of about 125,000 or above is another thing that we look for. So we, of course, will support you to ensure that your territory meets our requirements and is viable, but we're also open to getting your feedback with your local knowledge to really ensure that both parties are comfortable in moving forward. So, as far as the state licensing requirements go, there are currently about 33 states that do require that you have some kind of a personal care license. Now, we will help ensure that our franchise owners are compliant at the state level and meet all of the compliance measures. So, that's part of the onboarding process that we would walk you through and support you through is to ensure that you acquire the necessary license that's needed to open your agency. Now, you might be wondering, well, is that going to create any delays for me in being able to open my franchise? And the answer to that is no. Our franchisees are still averaging about 120 to 180 days on average. So, give or take 4 to 6 months from the time they sign the franchise agreement to when their HomeWell agency is actually open. So, it does not substantially affect you from a timing standpoint. And then, of course, we're there to support you throughout that whole process. So the initial investment. So there's a bit of a range here, but we do typically see that we're ranging somewhere between 150 to about 200,000 when it comes to the investment. Now there's a lot of varying factors in that plays into that equation. Some of it could be, whether or not you're planning on paying yourself a small salary as you get going. So there's again a variety of factors that'll kind of weigh where you kind of go on the pendulum. Again, I would encourage you to reach out to your directors if you have any questions or concerns when it comes to the investment or whether or not you might financially qualify. They can certainly help support you and answer any questions that you have in regards to that. But typically about 150 to 200,000. And then we also do have financing referrals that we can offer to you just to better utilize your capital and find the best strategies to use that. And then when it comes to royalty, we have a 5% royalty, very standard royalty rate amongst just about any franchisor that's out there. And then a 2% brand fund, again, very standard. So we have a couple of different paths to ownership. So assuming both parties feel like it's the right fit, right? You're ready to move forward with us, we're ready to move forward with you, and we execute a franchise agreement. Upon signing a franchise agreement, the initial fee that's owed is our training fee. The training fee is 5,000. After signing the franchise agreement and paying that training fee of 5,000, you still have up to about 150 days to decide if you would like to pay the franchise fee of 49,500 or if you would like to waive it. So there's two paths to ownership. Now, the traditional route after those 150 days, if you decide that you do want to pay the franchise fee of 49,500, you would pay the normal ongoing royalty rate of about 5% of gross revenues. Now, if you choose to go with option two and waive the franchise fee, what would happen is you would pay an ongoing royalty rate of 10%. So rather than a 5% ongoing royalty rate, you would pay a 10% ongoing royalty rate up to a predetermined amount of revenue. So there's both of those options there. Really, again, just as a tool to see which route works the best for you. I will say a large percentage of our franchise owners are going with option two and waiving the franchise fee and paying the higher royalty rate, just because many times, again, they're well capitalized, but they see it as a way just to utilize those funds towards the business in different ways. Maybe they want to use that 49,500 towards their digital marketing efforts or other local marketing efforts to really beef up the leads that they have coming in a little bit quicker and faster. Or maybe they want to be a little bit more aggressive in their payroll and kind of ramp up a little bit faster and make some more hires. So they'll use their money towards that. So the money is being utilized towards the business regardless. But again, it's just a tool for you to have the option to decide how you want to utilize those funds. So our training, I think this is another just great added value that our brand brings. So we have something called our Learning Lab, which is our LMS system. And Erica Eller's great credit to her. She's our VP of Learning and Onboarding, and her Learning Lab has won multiple awards just with how robust it is and how much value it adds to our network and getting our franchise owners up and running. So our franchise owners will have be able to log in. They'll have various training modules that they'll go through. And at the highest level, we cover best practices regarding employee retention, sales, recruiting. So those are just a few examples. But we also have virtual workshops that will walk our franchise owners through case studies with real life scenarios so you can actually apply the learning. And then, of course, role playing, actually practicing. If I'm doing a caregiver interview, what is that going to look like? Let me practice that in real time. So all of that will be done as part of the training. Another added value that we offer is we have what we call as a community of practice, and that's quarterly networking sessions that allows our franchisees employees to gather and share best practices, ideas, and challenges of their role. So this is actually our franchise owners employees that'll gather. So like your HR schedulers, your care managers, your sales professionals, and your office managers. So this really helps the employees just feel supported, and naturally with stronger levels of support that can lead to better overall employee retention. Business coaching. So we have great business coaches. Our business coaches offer very close one-on-one attention. So we initially in that first year, you're going to have a weekly call with your business coach. As you get comfortable, you might think it's necessary to have once a month or however you feel, however much support you feel like you need, but they're always there to support you. So for sure, though, in that first year, a minimum of a weekly call. But again, if you need more support than that, they're there for you at any time. So our business coaches, we typically have one business coach for every 20 to 25 franchisees. I know there's some franchise or organizations out there that'll have one business coach for every like 70 franchise owners. So again, very good one-on-one attention that they offer. Our business coaches will also be there to help help you put together your business plan. So set goals for your KPIs based on company benchmarks. So that's another thing that they'll offer. And we use a program called WellSky for that, where WellSky tracks all in one place, your gross profit summary. It's kind of like your CEO dashboard. So your benchmarking will be there. You'll be able to track your billable hours by territory. And of course, your revenue by referral source when it comes to your leads. So it's a great one-stop shop. It also integrates with your payroll as well. So that's just that's one required tool, but we also have a lot of other vendors and suppliers we work with to help support you. So marketing. So we have what we call as our HomeWell Marketing Hub. This houses all of our apparel, our consumer marketing when it comes to B2C flyers, but also our business to business marketing flyers, because the pain points and the selling points for B2B versus B2C, it's going to be a little bit different. So we've already taken care of all of that for you. It's just a matter of you getting the material and making sure that it's getting out into your community. So our marketing hub also houses all of our digital assets, such as our social media posts, our branded videos, and then, of course, our recruitment efforts as well when it comes to the posts that you would put out there to advertise jobs for hire. We have that all housed there for you. And then our owners have access to several other marketing platforms and vendors to help with their local marketing outreach. We've actually done a separate webinar just solely talking about marketing. So if you're curious about that, your director can send you a link to that video as well. Signature programs. So moving on to our signature programs, this is one of the things that I believe is one of our key differentiators as a brand and being in the home care space. So while ordinary home care agencies focus solely on activities of daily living, like personal care, which is what we've been talking about, HomeWell Care Services offers something more valuable with a proactive approach to the biggest challenges of aging. So in helping our clients address challenges like fall prevention, loneliness and depression, and post-medical care recovery. So this is with all thanks to our signature programs, and this is built into what we offer to our customers. So this is not an additional cost. This is built into the care that we're already providing. So the Go Home Well program, this is transitional care. So if we have a client or if there is a hospital or a rehab facility that has somebody that's discharging and there's concerns that they might get rehospitalized at some point, maybe there's concerns that they don't have people in the home that can take care of them. So we can help with that transitional care and really just to help avoid rehospitalization. So that's another service we have. And then Sure Step, so this is for fall prevention. We can do an assessment in the home, making sure that there isn't any risk of fall risk. So that's another support that we offer. And then LEAP is our Life Enrichment Activities Program. So this is for seniors that may have family out of state, or for whatever reason, maybe they're no longer able to drive. So a lot of times what we've seen is when this happens, they can become socially isolated and just continue to withdraw. So we provide engagement and activities that our clients can do safely, or just returning to activities that they're accustomed to or exploring new ones. So our team, this is another just huge added value that I think we offer to our franchise owners is we have an exceptionally passionate team that's committed to your success and with decades on decades of franchising experience. And at the end of the day, our metrics as an organization are tied to the success of our franchisees. So if you're not doing well, we're not going to be successful either. So that's a huge point, I think, for us is that we really strive and really do everything that we possibly can for our franchise owners to be as successful as possible. And I think you'll definitely see that through your validation calls, and then of course as you get to meet some of our other team members. And this brings us to our discovery process. So you might be at various stages in your discovery process currently. Maybe you're someone that we've talked to in the past, kind of fell off, maybe just it wasn't the right timing and are ready to re-engage with us. Please reach out to us. We'd love to start up a conversation with you again. Reach out to your director as far as where you are in the process. And of course, they're there to guide you at every step of the way. I think one of the most valuable parts of our process that we can offer is our validation. Our franchise owners last year did upwards of 600 validation calls. So they're excited about the brand. They're willing to share. I think you'll get a very transparent look into the pros, the good, the bad, the ugly of, what it's like to be an entrepreneur and run a business. But there's definitely a lot of pros here. So I'm sure you'll see that as well. So thank you again for everyone for taking the time to listen to this webinar. As Samantha said, we'll open it up to some questions. I'm a little bit newer to the HomeWell team here, so I'll do my best to answer. If I don't know the answer, of course, one of your directors will certainly circle back with you.